We have the 13 original books just kind of going around. Well, I guess 12 because I got one here. If you want to sit in a seat and kind of have a book near you, you can kind of look through it. But we should have enough chairs for everyone. I stole every chair in here and added a few extra ones. Go ahead and get started. How's your conference going so far?
Good.
It's good. You're enjoying it? Awesome. Well, my name is Haley Anderson, and seatbelts, everyone. I'm really glad that you guys are here to talk about the Magic School Bus with me, exploring the 5E model of instruction through the Magic School Bus. So these slides and the script that we're looking at today, we're going to mainly do a big readers theater with many of you, as you be well to read with us. It was all posted on the website and everything, so you should be good to go there. You have access to all of these things. So when I'm not Miss Frizzle, my name is Haley Anderson. I've worked at multiple universities. I'm currently mainly working for UVU for the theater department, and if you know me otherwise, I work for the Beverly Taylor Sorensen department through BYU, and I'm a professional development partner for drama. And kind of fun fact, I've been a first, second, third grade teacher. I had all 3 grades at once because it's kind of a Montessori structure. I did that for a few years at Walden School of Liberal Arts in Provo, which is where my kids go and where I volunteer and sometimes do weird stuff like this. So if they see me in the hall, they're like, drama teacher, music teacher. So, oh, I need to turn this on. Okay, let me do that really quick. See, you'd think a theater person would know to mic. Check, we're good? Okay, awesome. So, since we're talking about drama today, we've got a little bit of music as well that we'll play around with. I thought it would be helpful to I looked through the drama UEN standards really quick, just kind of the main words that stood out through all 4 strands. And this is what I saw, and a lot of it gets hit today, like really easily, right? So hopefully you're like, oh, I don't know if I can incorporate drama. You notice that it's actually really easy. A lot of these words will hopefully come into play today. This is just like a quick run through of them, of most of them, and that's for like all 7th grades. Let me know if I'm here. Maybe I'll take this one. You know who I am, right? Good. Okay. So yeah, come on in, find a seat, make room. If not, you'll have to sit in one of our acting chairs. There's 2 right here. The books, yeah, if you've got a book and you've looked at it, you can kind of pass it around. That will help with context. I knew I was going to forget to do this. Okay, so the 5E model of instruction, you guys kind of familiar with that a little bit? I thought I'd provide some resources in case you're interested. All of these are links. There's cool videos. There's free posters. I'll show you the free posters on the next slides. Really cool resources from NASA and the National Wildlife Federation of kind of what this is. And so I wanted to kind of walk through what the 5Es are and then let you kind of percolate, think about it throughout the rest of the workshop today to see where did we maybe hit these words or where could we incorporate these using the Magic School Bus. So these are the 5, okay, and we'll go through each one in a second. You'll notice at number 4, sometimes they use either extend or elaborate. So since I'll be doing a lot of talking, maybe I'll get a volunteer from the crowd. This is kind of a warm up as well, since we'll be doing a reader's theater. Engage. Would someone be interested in reading this for me?
Student interest is piqued. Students make connections with prior experience and understanding is connected.
Okay, so we're engaging them. What do they already know? How can we get them excited about the topic? Thank you. Who would like to read this one for me? Kind of warming up our voices here.
Students explore the concept through hands-on activities, identify real questions, develop a hypothesis, and test variables.
Okay, when they're exploring, they're starting to kind of get more hands-on in the materials. We're still just kind of letting them figure things out, maybe guess what might happen. The video that I attached on the previous slide has the kids kind of learning about the plant life cycle. It was really cute. So that is an example of that. And then at number 3, we start to get a little bit more detail here.
The direct instruction phase is presented in a collaborative fashion. Vocabulary is defined, concepts are explained.
Okay, so this is kind of where teachers start coming in and saying, okay, here's what these terms are. You've already kind of explored it a little bit. Let's put some vocabulary to that. And then number 4, sometimes we see it as elaborate, sometimes extend. Good volunteer, thank you.
Generalizations about the new learning is applied to previous investigations, and new hypotheses are tested to draw conclusions.
Okay, so now they know, thank you, know a little bit more terms. We're going to try some more experiments and see what's going to happen, and then we kind of wrapped it up right here with number 5, evaluate. Would anyone like to read our last one here? Thank you.
Students evaluate their own learning and prove what they know in writing, conversation, and demonstration.
Okay, awesome, thank you. So just be thinking about these. We're going to kind of open the floor up at the end to see where did you see this happen, where could we grow this area, you know, each of the 5 E's. So I thought I would talk about the Magic School Bus because I was, well, look at me, right? This is my natural hair. And so I'm trying to do like the middle part here. And so I thought, oh, it'd be so much fun, particularly because we're doing STEM, right? That's kind of the theme. And with drama, this was one of the things that really got me interested as a kid. I was born in '87, so I'm like really around this time period where all these books are starting to come out, the show's starting to get popular. And so what you have on your, you're kind of just spread around my, all the seats here are all of these books. With the exception of this one, because I've got this one, so I could show you, because I've chosen to do The Magic School Bus, Lost in the Solar System. I must have stolen this from my mom's house in Georgia, because it's like, this is, I had it at my house. I'm like, this is the actual copy, I believe, that I grew up reading, and this is what really inspired me to get interested in science, and probably, you know, theater as well, when I saw somebody who looked like me. And then it must have been fate that I, you know, ended up working with kids, right, and teaching. So be sure to, if you've looked at it, you want to kind of pass it to somebody else. It will be helpful to kind of see the structure of these 13 books as I took it upon myself to figure out how to best turn it into a reader's theater. The wonderful world of Wikipedia tells us that there is even more things to explore in case you're interested. There's not just the original 13 books. There's also chapter books. There's 20 chapter books. There's 33 Scholastic Reader Level 2 books. I thought about typing all these. I'm like, okay, you can look it up. They're all on there on Wikipedia. 32 TV tie-in books. So like, okay, we've made the show. We're going to go back and make a book. They're kind of a little bit smaller. But to make a book that's around that episode, but there's a lot going on here that you could explore for the rest of your career and your whole life. 4 TV tie-in fun kits. There's 3 science fact finder books. I'm not kidding. There's 3 Miss Frizzle's Adventures books, and then the Lizard Gets a spin-off series with 6 Liz series books. I should have brought it instead, but. And this is what I think you'd be most interested in is the 10 Magic School Bus Presents. Have you guys seen these before? So these are where it's kind of a nonfiction companion to the original Magic School Bus series. So for example, if you read this book, Lost in the Solar System, you could show them, this one has like, you know, more facts, actual photographs to just kind of delve deeper. Okay, and then if you're interested in the show, which caveat, I didn't actually look at the show when I created this script. I just went off of the book. But there are 52 episodes of the original TV show. Again, this is around the time that I was a kid, 4 seasons, and then now the kids nowadays they still know Magic School Bus, probably because of Netflix, because of the reboot. The Magic School Bus rides again, and there are some seasons of the original show on Netflix as well. So it is out there. And in my exploration, I was like, oh, the first episode of the first season is Lost in the Solar System, and I don't think I realized that because I didn't use it at all for creating this. I just used the book, but then we went back and watched it, and I was like, okay, a lot of this is really similar to the book. So that's the one that's just right here that we're going to look at. And then in my exploration, apparently somebody wrote a musical, and they travel and perform it of this exact episode, right? This exact book. So just know there are a myriad of resources for you. I've linked to the website if you're interested in watching any of that, or at least the trailer. There's just a ridiculous amount of stuff out there. We're feeling good? Keeping up? So just know this is for you to explore later if you're explore. That's one of our E's, right? if you want to go even deeper than just this one book. Because I'm aware when we're talking about space, it can be hard with having a lot of actual resources. So just know with a lot of these activities and things, it might be easier to do hands-on stuff with one of the different science topics. But I had to choose space because I was super excited to see what fun we could have with that and using our imagination. So the 5 activities we're going to see, you're actually seeing one right now a little bit, is teacher enroll. We're going to do a reader's theater. I've got tons of scripts and help that I need for that, if you're willing. And then there's not a lot of movement in this one, so you can kind of relax, or it's morning, right? Let's just kind of chill. Right, you sit and you read. Or you stand and you read. And then speaking objects. and then soundscape, and then interview is kind of at the end after we've done our Reader's Theater. So I took it upon myself to see if I could mix a bunch of different, what we call process drama activities into a Reader's Theater. So, right, so this is Teacher in Role. You can dress up like Miss Frizzle, you can dress up like any kind of character you want, but the idea is that you engage the kids through maybe inquiring to know more about what they already know about that topic while you're in the character. So, class, I'm curious, what do you know about outer space, or what excites you about outer space? Whatever comes to your head. any volunteers to share? What do they already know? And you know the kids who they watch YouTube all day and they know all the stuff about space.
So Pluto used to be a planet, it's no longer a planet, and it's unfair.
That is exactly what they're going to say. I had a kindergarten tell me in 2006, blah, 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 it goes into the whole thing, right?
There's some scientists that want to add it back in. Did you know that?
Which is
I read that.
Yeah, which is
They want, there's a debate now.
they're debating it, right?
When they have all the others. See, okay.
Yeah, they're debating it now.
You know, I left him in the script because you just never know what's going to happen, right? So he's here. Any other things that you know about space or the solar system that excite you, that you want to share? You know, the know-it-all kids, right?
I just know that we're the third planet in the solar system.
Third planet in the solar system, because we live on Earth. Okay. We actually don't spend a ton of time talking about Earth, which is kind of fun because, you know, other books go into Earth. We're going to look at a lot of the other ones today, so it's good to remember we are on Earth. Even though sometimes it feels like the kids are not, right? Always grounded. So there's so many characters that you could do with different series. This is always fun to do this character if you want, or make up your own character. I thought this was kind of cool. Again, it's a lot of text, but I'll summarize it for you. You can read it later if you like. This is from the National Wildlife Federation. 5 reasons Miss Frizzle rocks as a teacher. So that's another thing today. I want you to not just think about, oh, how can I use drama while I teach, but how can I just be a Miss Frizzle every day, in and out of character. The words of wisdom that she shares: take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. She's always got the inspirational thoughts in her head, right? The inquiry-based teaching. She's always asking them questions, right? She's very inspirational with her enthusiasm and helping them be engaged. She creates a sense of community of care, so the students can kind of help each other. Because in this story, you'll see she actually disappears for part of it and floats off into space. The kids have to work together. And then, of course, last but not least, the fashion sense that she has. I've even got satin earrings, right? There is stuff out there. Go to Amazon, go to Etsy, it's all there. For fun, costumes within themes, and it doesn't have to just be for Miss Frizzle, but for any theme you're teaching. So that's one reason why I wanted to do particularly this book series, this character, because I think we could all learn something from her teaching style, even though she's a fictional character, right? So, if you have the books around, you can kind of share with the person next to you. It'd be nice for you guys to open them up because I wanted to challenge myself with my theater background. How could I take an actually pretty challenging structure and make it into a Reader's Theater? So if you notice, how do you read this to a class, right? It's kind of tricky because you've got 3 things going on. I kind of tried to dissect it. You've got narrative text, so that's some kind of narrator speaking kind of in past tense. Well, today in this Frizzle's class, we did this. Okay, so I created what's called the narrator. Ooh, I know, very original. The narrator student. And then you've got these speech bubbles. Some of it's funny, some of it's, not. So I sometimes wrote my own. But that's more present tense. The kids are talking to each other, character dialogue. So I assigned those parts to Miss Frizzle as a character, which I will read. And then I gave her some students. And then some of the students already have names, so we'll share that in a second. And then the third one is the science reports. This is probably the most helpful thing for you in terms of I need to teach kids concepts, right? They have all of these, you know what I'm talking about? The little paper with this is Ralphie's report or blah, blah. Okay, so what I did is I consider those just the facts. And they are astronomers in our play. They started off as scientists, which would work great if you want to call them scientists. But for this particular book, I'll call them astronomers. And they're going to have a little object, which will go with our talking objects. Okay? So, we are going to cast our show. Some of you are looking at me excited, some of you are not. We'll see. These are our main characters, so we'll read through the whole play. We've got Miss Frizzle as me, so I've got my own little script here. But I do need, maybe just let you kind of wander on if you want to come on up, 6 people. I need a narrator who will come up and sit here. Your script is here, your name tag is here, so you can put them on. I use shoelaces. I've noticed they get tangled the least. Okay, and then I need an Arnold. You guys remember Arnold? Oh, little Arnold. Little red. Oh, he's also a redhead kid. And then Janet. So for Janet, you know, she's not really liked at the beginning. She's Arnold's cousin, and she's like, at my school, we do this. So if you want, Janet, you can use a puppet in case the kid feels like they're getting, like, attacked for being, like, the annoying kid. I was like, they can use a puppet. You don't have to. When my daughter read it at home, she's like, I'm fine. I'm at my school. She don't care. But I thought a puppet might be kind of fun because she's also she doesn't go here, right? She doesn't even go here. So she's actually like just visiting for the day. So she's kind of this like puppet character that she's not really part of the class, but then we'll see kind of how the story progresses. And then thank you guys did it all on your own. Kid 1, Kid 2, Kid 3. I'm not very creative. I was like, let's just do that. And so it keeps it pretty simple. These are your kids who really, really want to read. You're confident that they can really carry the script. And then there are 15 other people who are what I call the astronomers. So since each astronomer only has one line, these are those little reports that are like on the sides of the pages, I just decided to make name tags, and I wrote the line on the back. I typed it and cut it out. So when it's that person's turn to read, they just have to read what's on the back of their name tag. So you don't have to print 20, this is a 20-page script, so you don't have to print them for all of them. So if anyone is willing to be one of these, would you just raise your hand and I can kind of come around. So the first one, this is the order it's going to be, is the solar system. You will have an object, and I'll have to give you yours after I take all the planets off, so you can wear that. Next one is day and night. So I have a little alarm clock here. I've got my day and night, so you just kind of hold this, and then you have your name tag. I have gravity. Gravity is an apple. So this is your object, and this is your name tag with your script. I'm super excited about these little shoelaces. Anti-gravity. I'm going to give you this little floating astronaut here. I'm just going with whoever's closest to me. And then I'll come around. Okay, anti-gravity. I need the moon and the sun. Maybe I can do you guys at the same time. So moon and the sun. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, I'll come back down here. Anybody who's raising their hand. The rest of them I think are just the planets. So you've got the name tags. We'll do. We've got the moon here. Here's your little tiny moon. Here's the sun. And then the rest of them are just the planets. I skipped Earth because it doesn't really get highlighted a ton other than like, we live here. Okay, Mars. Anybody else? And then we'll do Jupiter here. She has 5 more. I have the asteroid belt too. Let's do Mars here. Oh, that's Jupiter. You want the smaller one. There you go. Jupiter will come back there to you as well. There's one back here. Thank you so much. Oh, did you find the asteroid belt? Yeah. It's an action. I just took my daughter's sparkly belt. It's like, that works. Well, I was like determined to not buy things. I was like, let's just see what I can find in my house. This little map was supposed to be Target, and so there's just these cute little things. Thank you for help. This is the only part, right, that takes a little bit of time. The Castor show, the Neptune, and like I said, I went back and forth. I was like, should Pluto be there? I figured you guys would be upset if I kept him too. Boo, you stink, right? You gotta have Pluto, and then we'll do Neptune. Right, because you know, there's my mom was saying that she's like, I heard that they added it back in. I'm like, who's they, right? NASA, right? But yeah, so we've got all of our cast. We are being filmed, so we'll make sure that you're heard when you stand up. It'll be very clear in the script. The class, you guys are the class, and narrator can be included as well. They'll ask a question. We'll make sure that you know that it's you, and I'll help you out as well for your cue, since you don't have an actual script. Now, you thought you were off the hook. I have 2 chairs, unless you would like to be included as well. So just these 2 chairs. 2 people who want to come over here with this gentleman. You didn't know that you were casting yourself. Soundscape. Okay, I have a percussion background, but for this kind of stuff, I just tell the kids, yeah, whatever. Like, play whatever you want. So there's a whole list of instruments. I had the thought, oh yeah, like a bike horn or something that sounds like a horn would have been cute. But I have just a bunch of stuff here. I didn't bring all of this. but I listed it in case I do have all of this. But in case you're interested in instruments you could use, yeah, we've got one here. Does anybody else want to come join and do the soundscape? You're usually the bus that's like, oh, that's my 3-year-old daughter was, yeah, this is my favorite one. This is the Fibrous Lap. So we were practicing this at home with my 3-year-old. We're like, okay, so that you see the yellow part, the highlighted wherever it says soundscape, you'll see it in the script. I was like, and then the bus takes off and she goes, and she's the bus taking off every time. And so she was here the other day or at the competition. She said, I'm the school bus. I play the bus, So that's for your kids who don't want to speak, right? You just want to kind of include some more parts for just kind of the soundscape, okay? This is mainly so that you know how to navigate when you download the doc, if you're interested, the packet. So it looks like this. You guys just have the script, but mine is the full version. So I made a little table of contents of the scenes. Page 2, also I made a little cast list, because that's such a pain to try to figure out everybody we just did, right? So for you, I've got it listed where you can easily put your class, your students in here, and then even what objects you're going to use, because last time I was like, wait, what did I say I was going to use for this? So it's helpful to remember the objects for the astronomers. You'll notice that the script is color-coded. That was for me too, to make sure that the same person was speaking, in the same amount of time. But it's also for the kids. Okay, you don't have to print it in color, but it's helpful. Okay, so blue is the kids, and then the black is narrator. Red is me, right, because of the hair. Yellow, you'll see the yellow highlight is you guys, and then the green is out here. Again, you don't have a script, you just have your part, so we'll make sure you know when it's time to speak. The pages after the script are these name tags. So you can print them off and hole punch them, all that kind of stuff, laminate them, put the scripts. So these are the scripts that are listed on the back of the name tags. I figured you don't need to do this, I'll just give it to you. you can use this, but you can easily, change it if you want. And then this last page will be something we'll talk about after the play, but I'll show you that when we get to that. Oh, and then you're my solar system, so I thought you should have this whole thing.
All right.
So you'll just kind of hold it when you present. Perfect. So the play is designed for at least 22 students, okay, so that's what we just did here, and 1 teacher. If you have more students, do you have more? Probably a little bit more. You might have some kids who just kind of want to sit and listen. You can make more soundscape performers. You can, rewrite this how you want to add more parts. But if you have fewer students, you can also have some astronomers read from multiple objects, so they can have multiple name tags. Okay. So I thought it would also be fun. We're going to get started. Oh, we're doing good on time. Okay. I thought it would be fun to have a little background for each scene. There are 19 scenes. You're going, oh my gosh, we're going to be here all day. It actually goes really fast. So each scene, you'll notice, is just 1 page, okay? Except for the last scene where it needed a little bit to be fleshed out at the end, okay? Would you guys like to hear the Reader's Theater? Okay, here we go. So Act 1, Scene 1, we've got the narrator.
It was field trip day again in Mrs. Frizzle's class. Everyone was excited. We were going to the planetarium to see a sky show about the solar system.
Class, the path a planet takes around the sun is called an orbit. The solar system is full of objects in orbit.
Arnold's cousin Janet was visiting our class for the day.
Welcome, Janet. Class, I know all of you will be nice to our guest. She is very...
The word is smart. I get all A's in school. I also have 5 computers. And just so you know, my class went to the planetarium last year.
Jeez, what a show-off.
Yeah, thanks for inviting your cousin, Arnold.
She's actually really nice when you get to know her.
Isn't it just me, or does anyone else forget what the solar system is?
Okay, then class, this is all of you, okay?
Astronomer, what is the solar system?
Okay.
You can just,
I was
yeah.
going to say, I can't hold it and read it.
So we'll have you stand up and kind of face the camera here.
Okay. The solar system is the sun and all the objects that orbit around it. The planets, their moons, the chunks of rocks, known as asteroids, and the balls of ice and dust, known as comets.
Yeah, you can sit down.
Okay.
Thank you, that's your one line.
We all tried to be nice to Janet. We really did. As we got on the school bus, we told her that Ms. Frizzle is the weirdest teacher in the school. But Janet wasn't interested. She just wanted to talk about herself.
My school is taller than your school. Our swings are better than your swings. My teacher is weirder than your teacher.
Who wants a tall school? As usual, it took a while to get the old bus started, but finally we were on our
So we got a
way.
soundscape, right? So it took a while to get the bus started. Okay.
As we were driving, Ms. Frizzle told us all about how the Earth spins like a top as it moves in its orbit.
The Earth makes one complete rotation every 24 hours, which is one day.
This bus is a wreck. Well, at least it started this time.
We have new buses at my school.
Janet, be quiet. I missed what Miss Frizzle was saying about the Earth's rotation. I swear you talk all day.
Astronomer, what makes day and night?
There's your cue.
Okay, the Earth's rotation around itself makes day and night. When one side of the Earth faces the sun, it is daytime, and when that side turns away from the sun, it is night.
Awesome. We're gonna go to scene 3.
When we got to the planetarium, we couldn't believe our eyes. It was closed for repairs.
Aw, does this mean we have to go back to school?
I'm so depressed.
My planetarium is always open.
Different planetarium.
On the way back, while we were waiting at a red light, something amazing happened. The bus started tilting back, and we heard the roar of rockets.
Oh dear, we seem to be blasting off.
Here we go again.
Children, we are now traveling through the atmosphere, the layers of air around the Earth. But hang on tight, because we'll be going even farther than the exosphere.
Awesome, cool. I guess we'll get to see the solar system after all.
My bus has bigger rockets than your bus.
Excellent observation, Janet. Spaceships cannot just fly into outer space. They need rockets to break free from the powerful grip of Earth's gravity.
Astronomer, what is gravity?
Where's my gravity? There you are.
Gravity is the force that pulls objects toward the center of the Earth. Other planets have gravity too. Larger planets usually have more gravity. Smaller planets usually have less gravity.
The facts are really simple. This is good for like 2nd to 6th grade, right?
When the roar of the rocket stopped, we looked around. Everything had changed. The bus had turned into a spaceship. We were all dressed in spacesuits, and we were lighter than feathers. We floated above our seats.
I'm flying higher than you are.
We were really traveling in space. We had become astronauts.
Look how beautiful my Earth is up from here.
You are so bright, Janet. Class, notice. Oh, so we do talk a little bit about Earth. Earth's blue oceans, white clouds, and brown land. I think I have to go to the bathroom.
Does anyone know exactly why we are floating right now?
Astronomer, why do people feel weightless in
So
space?
this is the anti-gravity. There you go. Thank you.
Gravity gives objects weight. Without a large mass nearby, such as a planet, there is no gravity to pull objects down. This is why you can float around in space.
Thank you.
We strapped in for safety, and our spaceship zoomed towards the moon.
Zoom. Again, I'm like, whatever they want to do.
Our first stop was the moon.
Class, the moon travels in orbit around the Earth, just as the Earth travels around the sun.
We got off the bus and looked around. There was no air, no water, no sign of life. All we saw were dust, rocks, and a lot of craters.
These craters were formed billions of years ago when the moon was hit by meteorites.
Oh, I know what those are. Meteorites are falling chunks of rock and metal.
Look how high I can jump.
Impressive! That's because the moon has less gravity than Earth.
I was in a national jump rope contest. I won, of course.
Is there a national bragging contest?
Wait, I thought the moon gave off some sort of light since we can usually see it at night. Unless it is a new moon, of course.
Astronomer, does the moon give off light?
So who is my moon? There you go.
The moon does not make any light of its own. The moonlight we see from Earth is really light from the sun. It hits the moon and bounces off the way light is reflected from a mirror.
We got back on the bus as it zoomed towards the sun.
You ready to zoom? Ooh, bigger zoom that time. There we go. Gotta go further. Okay, scene 6, the sun.
We traveled toward the largest, hottest, and brightest star at the center of the solar system, the sun. Jets of super hot gases shot out at us from the surface.
These are the hot gases. Oh my goodness, the gases are super hot. Our sun is an average star like the ones we see in the night sky. Solar flares are giant storms on the sun's surface. Sunspots are areas that are cooler than the rest of the sun.
We better not get too close.
Yes, you should never look directly at the sun, children. It can really damage your eyes. That's really in the book, so that was funny.
We should never drive a bus directly in the sun either. It's so hot. Let's go to the next stop, Miss Frizzle.
We'll be seeing all planets in order, class. Mercury is the first planet, the closest to the sun.
My school is heated with solar energy. And I have a sun deck. And I have 10 pairs of sunglasses.
Give it a rest, Janet. You're making my blood boil. Or maybe it's just because the sun is so big and hot.
Astronomer, how big and hot is the sun?
Okay, here's my sun, astronomer.
Our sun measures about 865,000 miles across. About 1.3 million Earths could fit in it. At the center of the sun, the temperature is about 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. The sun is so hot, it heats planets that are millions of miles away.
The bus lifted off with a roar and zoomed towards Mercury.
Here we go, class. Okay, scene 7.
Next, we traveled to Mercury, the closest planet to the sun. It was a dead, sun-baked planet made entirely of craters.
Class, this planet is a lot like our moon. There is no water and hardly any air.
Wow, it is basically the size of our moon.
Speaking of the moon, it doesn't look like Mercury has any moons of its own.
Lonely little Mercury. I feel your pain, friend.
Mercury might not be as lonely as we think. I read once that 2 spacecraft have visited this planet before. They were called Mariner 10 and Messenger.
Well, I've seen Mercury from my house without a telescope.
Mars was spinning so fast around the sun that we decided to just admire it as we zoomed towards the next closest planet.
Astronomer, how fast does Mercury spin?
Where's my Mercury? Thank you.
Mercury speeds around the sun every 88 days, traveling through space at nearly 29 miles per second, faster than any other planet. Yet Mercury spins slowly on its axis and completes one rotation every 59 Earth days.
The bus zoomed toward Venus.
Zoom!
We soon felt ourselves being pulled in by the gravity of Venus, the second planet from the sun.
Class, we will now explore the surface of Venus. We'll be heavier here than on the moon or Mercury because Venus has more gravity.
Below the clouds, Venus was as dry as a desert. The ground was covered with rocks and it was hot. It's about 900 degrees Fahrenheit.
Check out all the clouds and volcanoes.
The air is so heavy that I can actually feel it pressing down on me.
Me too. Miss Frizzle, why is it so hot and dry here?
Venus's atmosphere has a lot of carbon dioxide gas in it, which acts like a blanket to hold heat in. When heat is trapped like this by a planet's atmosphere, it is called the greenhouse effect.
Well, hopefully it'll rain soon so we can cool down.
Actually, Venus's clouds never make rain because it is too hot for rain to form. Any liquid on Venus dries up instantly.
These clouds are such a lovely yellow. I have an expensive flip sweater in the exact same shade.
Astronomer, why are Venus's clouds yellow instead of white?
Earth's clouds are white because they are made of water vapor. Venus's clouds are made mostly of a deadly yellow poison called sulfuric acid.
We got back on our bus as it zoomed toward Mars.
Zoom!
We passed right by Earth, the third planet from the sun. Next, we visited Mars, the red planet, and fourth from the sun. We were shocked to see that some of the canyons were as long as the United States. There's also a volcano 3 times taller than the tallest volcano on Earth.
Whoa, look at all those channels. Maybe they are dried up riverbeds.
Class, there may have been water in Mars's channels, but now it is all frozen in the polar ice caps.
I've been to Mars lots of times. But Earth is the best planet for me. That's why I live here.
Just ignore her.
Wait, is there life on Mars? Like aliens?
No life has been found on Mars. Living things need water, and there's no liquid water on Mars. So space astronomers think life probably cannot exist here.
Next, we studied Mars' 2 moons, Phoebus and Deimos. Compared to our moon, they were tiny. Phoebus is 18 miles long, and Deimos is 9 miles long.
Those are moons? They look like potatoes. They are not round like our moon.
Astronomer, why